Hi, I'm Marc Ryan.
And I'm Angela Ryan. Today we've got the perfect recipe for this time of the year. This is what we like to call our fall nachos.
What makes them fall nachos, you may ask? Well, you're gonna fall for them, and we're gonna show you. Angela, how do we get started?
Well, we're gonna begin by cooking our nacho cheese. And we're putting in our butter, heating it up. And once that gets melted, we'll add our chili powder to that, and mixed in with a little bit of kosher salt. What puts the twist on this cheese is that we use butternut squash in addition to adding some of our pepper jack and sharp cheddar cheese. So it takes a little time for this to caramelize with the butter and the chili powder. And then once we get it caramelized, after probably about 5 minutes or so, we're gonna add some water, put the lid on, and kind of let it steam and soften so we can mush it up later and add it to our cheese. So if you wanna stir that around, baby.
Absolutely.
Just to get that butter on the squash, to caramelize it.
Sure.
And you're just gonna be doing this for a couple minutes while it's caramelized. And once it's caramelized, you're going to want to lower the temperature after you put the water in to let it steam.
So these are browning nicely now. They're starting to turn a very, very nice color. You're starting to get the aroma of what this is and what this can be as well. And no one's going to complain about that smell.
So now is the time to add our water. So you just want about 1/4 of a cup of water to place in there. And then after it's steamed and we mushed up the butternut squash, we're then gonna add our milk and our cheese.
This is actually the part of the process that takes the most time because the squash has to be a certain consistency, right? And we've experimented with different ways to make this. This is the way it tastes the best. This is the way it's the creamiest. This is what you want to do. So invest your time in giving the butternut squash time to settle. That's what we all got to do in our lives, right? We just got to let it settle. Okay, and that's what we're doing with this dish right here as well. We've got all these yummy ingredients here too.
We do. So now let's move on to our next step with all these yummy ingredients. Next, we're going to cook our Italian sausage.
That is most certainly the case. And that's when the aroma really starts to kick in. So now we're continuing on with the second step of the process here, and we've got our yummy Italian sausage. And if you get this from your local Ingles markets, let me tell you, man, they've got the seasonings already baked into it. They make it so easy for you. And then you're smelling it, and if you're like me, when the wife turns her head, you're sneaking a little piece for yourself, okay? Then nobody knows the better. And what you're putting together here is a delectable topping for your nachos. This is what gives it the heartiness that keeps everyone coming back for more. And we're browning it beautifully right now. It has that kind of crispy feel and crispy texture when it's getting close to being done.
Yeah, I got this out of the fresh meat market at Ingles, and I tell you, it is the best flavor of Italian sausage that I've had across the board. So I highly recommend you check out their fresh meat section. We are going to add our seasonings for our sausage and just sprinkle this on. And even though you have that Italian seasoning in here, the flavor of the chili powder and the allspice just gives it that really fall flavor in my opinion.
Kicks it up a notch. And you know, what people always say when you make a taco, right? The taco seasoning makes the taco. The seasonings here similarly make the dish, right? It makes it unique, it makes it great, it makes it completely special. So right now we've got our butternut squash softening. We want to get the appropriate softening for our squasho cheese sauce that we're going to make, and the butternut squash is our secret ingredient to make that happen. So that's what we're doing at this moment. We've got the sausage cooking as well.
Okay, so now we're gonna move on to our next step and finish up our cheese.
All right, I have mashed down this butternut squash like it done something bad. All right, and I'm letting it have it right now. And it's coming into a beautiful consistency right now. I'm getting out all the hostility that I used to have against squash when I was a kid. Feels good, very vindicating. But it's getting mashed down right now. Then we're gonna add our cornstarch. And then we're going to add our milk. Now what we've got is our pepper jack cheese and our cheddar cheese. We've got the two different kinds of cheeses that we are going to just nudge, just like you would do your child who doesn't want to go to school. Nudge them right into the bowl, okay? Know what's good for you.
Yeah, which Jackson's one of those.
Yeah.
I will say with cheese, this is one way to give a good variety for this dish is experimenting with the cheeses. When I went to go pick up some pepper jack, which is our favorite, and sharp cheddar, the variety that Ingles has on cheese was a little actually overwhelming, but in a great way. I mean, I was telling Mark, I was like, I can't wait to try different varieties of cheese. They had smoked cheese, and so that's one way I suggest that you experiment with this dish, is changing up the cheese. So while he's mixing this, you want to continue to mix and smash the butternut squash as that cheese melts into the butternut squash. And I'm going to begin by piling up our nachos with some of our ingredients. So here's our Italian sausage that we cooked. And then you want to saute some Brussels sprouts, which we've already done with a little bit of avocado oil. And then next we have our green apples and Honeycrisp apples. Again, you can experiment with a different variety of apples. But I like to choose a little bit of sour and sweet, which is your green apple and your Honeycrisp.
She married me after all.
I did. Good choice.
Yeah.
So you also want to mix some apples with some cilantro and some brine from jalapenos. I'm really big on dishes that have a lot of crisp to them. And with these Brussels sprouts, you get a little bit more of a crispy texture along with these apples. So what we're doing is we're just spreading out our Brussels sprouts across our nachos.
Now, if you love this dish, please give me the credit. If you don't, please blame Angela.
Yeah, this is one of his favorite dishes. So.
One of my favorite all-time dishes. This is in every single fall dish. Thank you for picking up your copy of the Ingles Table magazine and for trying our fall nachos. We think you're going to fall for them. There are so many more great recipes to be found here on the website, so be sure to check them out. We'll see you next time.